You don't need more motivation. You need more discipline. Because when the excitement fades and doubt creeps in, discipline is what keeps you moving. The life you deserve is not waiting at the finish line. It's being built every single day you choose action over. Your dreams don't die because you're not capable. They fade because doubt takes over when discipline steps aside. Today, we draw a line in the sand. No more waiting for the right time. No more questioning your worth. It's time to choose discipline over and over until the life you deserve becomes your reality. Number one, doubt will always be louder at the start. Start anyway. Here's a truth most people won't tell you. The beginning is always the hardest, not because the work is unbearable, but because doubt is deafening at the start. When you're stepping into something new, starting a business, rebuilding your health, writing that first page, or changing a toxic habit, doubt creeps in like an unwanted guest. It whispers, "Who do you think you are?" It reminds you of past failure. It tries to convince you that maybe you should wait for a better time, more clarity, or just a sign from the universe. But here's what successful people understand: clarity doesn't come before action, it's born from it. You don't silence doubt by thinking your way out of it. You silence it by acting in spite of it. Doubt thrives in inaction. It grows stronger every day you wait, every time you hesitate. But the moment you take a step, the moment you do something, no matter how small, you start to turn the volume down. Think about the first time you went to the gym after years of avoiding it. Every voice in your head screamed, "Everyone's watching you. You're out of shape. You don't belong here." But the moment you picked up that first weight, walked that first lap, or finished that first set, something shifted. That's discipline in action. And that action is more powerful than any amount of self-doubt. Discipline doesn't wait for the mood to be right. It doesn't need a cheerleader or a perfect plan. It says, "This is hard, but I'm doing it anyway." In the beginning, you'll have no results to prove you're on the right path. No one clapping, no big wins to fuel your fire. That's exactly why discipline matters most in the early days. It's the invisible fuel that moves you forward when nothing around you is confirming your effort. Here's the paradox. People wait to feel confident before they act. But confidence is the result of action, not the requirement for it. Discipline says, you don't need to feel ready, you just need to begin. Because once you start, even imperfectly, you give yourself momentum. You prove to yourself that the mountain isn't as high as you thought. And even if it is, you're stronger than you realize. Remember, everyone who's ever built something worthwhile started with a mind full of doubt. What separates them from the rest isn't that they were fearless, it's that they didn't wait for the fear to leave. So whatever you're holding back on, start today, not next week. Not when it's easier. Not when someone gives you permission. Start now. Discipline doesn't shout, it whispers, one step at a time. And that's how you silence doubt, by doing the work. Not just thinking about it. Your future self won't thank you for being perfect. They'll thank you for being brave enough to begin. Number two, your identity grows from repetition, not results. If you want to change your life, you must start by changing your identity. Not the labels the world gave you. Not the doubts you've collected over the years. But the story you tell yourself every day about who you are. And here's the truth. Identity is not built by inspiration, it's built by repetition. We tend to think that big results will give us confidence. That once we achieve something, once we lose the weight, build the business, or write the book, we'll finally believe we're capable. But that's backwards. Confidence doesn't follow achievement. Achievement follows consistent, disciplined action. Your habits shape your identity. Every time you show up, you cast a vote for the type of person you're becoming. When you write one page, you cast a vote for "I'm a writer." When you go for a walk, you cast a vote for "I'm someone who prioritizes their health." When you study for an hour, you cast a vote for "I'm a focused learner." One action doesn't define you, but when that action becomes consistent, it builds a pattern, and patterns turn into identity. Most people are obsessed with outcomes. How much weight did I lose? How much money did I make? How many followers did I get? But outcomes are just evidence, not the engine. If you want a lasting transformation, you must fall in love with the process. Because discipline is about doing the right thing, especially when there's no immediate reward. That's when real identity change happens. Let me ask you something. Who are you becoming based on your current habits? If you're skipping workouts, hitting snooze, breaking promises to yourself, what kind of person are you voting for? And more importantly, are you okay with becoming that version of you? You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. And systems are built on repetition. Discipline means you choose the system over the spotlight. You choose daily execution over instant gratification. And with every repetition, you're sending a message to your brain, this is who I am now. So instead of saying, I want to be confident, say I'll show up with discipline until I earn the identity of a confident person. Instead of saying, I want to be successful, say I'll build systems that reflect the life I want to live. It's not the outcome that changes you. It's the daily commitment to show up even when nothing is changing yet. Because identity is not found, it is forged. And every small disciplined choice is a hammer strike. You are shaping who you are. Not with grand gestures, but with daily devotion to who you want to become. Repetition builds identity. Identity builds belief. And belief builds your future. Number 3, small wins beat big promises every time. Most people don't fail because they lack ambition. They fail because they try to overhaul their entire life in one giant leap. They make big promises, I'm going to change everything starting Monday. And then they collapse under the weight of that pressure by Wednesday. Why? Because the mind gets excited by big goals, but life is built on small wins. If you want lasting change, discipline must start small and grow strong through repetition. Let's say you decide to get in shape. You go from 0 to full throttle, 2-hour gym sessions, cutting all sugar, waking up at 5 a.m. For a few days you feel like a machine, but then life happens. You get tired, stressed, or sore, and suddenly it's all too much. Discipline dies when the plan is unsustainable. But momentum lives in small victories. What if instead you just committed to 15 minutes of walking a day? What if you replaced soda with water? What if you simply got out of bed on the first alarm instead of hitting snooze? That may not sound impressive, but here's the truth. Small wins compound faster than grand plans ever will. When you complete something small and manageable, you build trust with yourself. You feel a sense of progress. And progress fuels motivation. It's not about lowering your standards, it's about creating a system that lets discipline win more often than it loses. And that means designing your habits so they're too small to fail, especially at the beginning. James Clear says it best. You don't rise to the level of your goals. You fall to the level of your systems. Your system should make winning inevitable. Not once, but daily. Think of it like a brick wall. You don't throw up all the bricks at once. You lay one, then another, then another. You keep laying them until you look up and realize you built something solid. The same applies to your life. Discipline doesn't require a dramatic overhaul. It requires the patience to build a foundation, one solid brick at a time. Each small win reinforces a deeper belief. I'm capable, I'm consistent, I follow through. And those beliefs shape your identity far more powerfully than any burst of motivation ever could. So don't underestimate what a 10-minute habit can do. Don't scoff at one small act of courage, one healthy decision, one productive hour. Because discipline lives in the space between doing nothing and doing something. And over time, those small somethings, they stack. They multiply, they transform. Don't aim to impress, aim to repeat. Because what you repeat, you become. Small wins aren't small, they are the seeds of greatness. Water them daily, and watch your life grow. Number 4, discipline is freedom in disguise. To the average person, discipline sounds like a burden. It sounds like saying no to everything fun, locking yourself into rigid routines, or sacrificing happiness in the name of hustle. But here's the paradox that most people miss. Discipline doesn't limit your freedom. It creates it. If you want freedom to live life on your terms, to wake up without regret, to chase your goals without fear, then discipline is your best friend, not your enemy. Let's flip the script. The opposite of discipline isn't freedom, it's chaos. When you don't control your habits, Your habits control you. When you don't choose your time gets stolen by distractions, by procrastination, by other people's priorities. Think about it. If you don't have the discipline to manage your money, you stay in debt. If you don't have the discipline to care for your health, you lose energy and independence. If you don't have the discipline to pursue your goals, you end up building someone else's dream. That's not freedom, that's living on autopilot, chained to whatever feels easy in the moment. True freedom begins when you learn to lead yourself. Discipline means you do what matters before it becomes a crisis. You invest in your body before it breaks down. You put in the effort before you need results. You plan your day before distractions take over. And the reward: freedom to move forward with confidence. Freedom to say yes to better things, because you had the strength to say no to what didn't serve you. We live in a world that worships comfort, but discipline doesn't care about comfort. It cares about commitment. Comfort gives you momentary relief. Discipline gives you long-term control. When you choose discipline, you reclaim your power. You stop reacting and start leading. You stop wishing and start building. You stop drifting and start designing. Let's get real. Freedom isn't about doing whatever you want whenever you want. That mindset leads to burnout, regret, and lost potential. Real freedom is the ability to say, I know what matters to me. I know what I need to do, and I have the self-respect to do it, whether I feel like it or not. That's what discipline gives you. It creates a structure that protects your goals. It gives your time a purpose. It gives your actions a direction. And most of all, it gives your future a chance. So if you want to feel more free, start by being more disciplined. Because when you own your decisions, you own your life. Discipline is not the enemy of freedom. It is the foundation of it. Build it and build the life you truly deserve. Number 5. Every time you show up, you build trust with yourself. Let's talk about one of the most powerful forces in your life. Self-trust. Not confidence, not motivation, not hype. We're talking about the quiet, unshakable belief that says, I will show up. I will follow through. I can count on me. But here's the catch. Self-trust isn't built by talking about it. It's built by doing. Every time you show up when it's hard, every time you honor your commitment, every time you do what you said you would do, especially when no one's watching, you're casting a vote for trust. And that vote adds up. Let's say you've broken promises to yourself in the past. You've started a diet and quit. You've said you'd wake up early, but hit snooze. You've told yourself this is the year I change, but didn't. That track record becomes a message. I can't trust myself. And that message becomes identity. But here's the good news. Identity can be rebuilt. One disciplined action at a time. The moment you say, I'm going to write for 10 minutes, and you actually do it, self-trust grows. The moment you say, no social media after 9 p.m., and you stick to it, self-trust strengthens. And the more often you keep your word, the more your brain starts to believe you again. Trust, like muscle, is built through consistent tension and release. Show up, repeat. Show up, repeat. And over time, something shifts. You start walking differently. You speak with more certainty. You don't need to prove anything to others, because you've already proven it to yourself. And when that kind of trust takes root, your discipline becomes nearly automatic. You don't waste energy debating if you'll show up. You just do. You don't look for motivation, you lean on your identity. This is why discipline isn't just about getting things done. It's about becoming the kind of person who does things. When you consistently show up, you build a track record, and that track record is powerful evidence that you are reliable, capable, and committed. Here's the truth most people avoid. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is filled with boring, unglamorous daily actions. But every one of those actions is a break. Every one of those decisions says, I trust myself to build the life I said I wanted. So if you've broken that trust in the past, don't beat yourself up. Just start now. Start small. Start steady. Start with one thing today and keep the promise. That's how the foundation gets rebuilt. You don't need to be perfect. You just need to be consistent. Because every time you show up, you're becoming the kind of person who keeps going no matter what. And that version of you, that's someone you can trust with your biggest dream. Number 6. Your future self is watching. Make them proud. Pause for a moment and imagine the person you're capable of becoming. Not a fantasy, not a dream, a real grounded version of you. 5 years from now. Stronger, clearer, more disciplined, living with purpose, leading with conviction. That version of you is real, but only if you start building it now. Every choice you make today is a vote for your future. Every hour you waste or invest, every habit you repeat, every time you choose discipline over distraction, it's not just shaping your day, it's shaping your destiny. Most people drift. They wake up, react to life, chase comfort, avoid the hard things, and wonder why nothing changes. Then they blame circumstances, time, other people. But the truth is, the gap between who you are and who you want to be isn't fate, it's discipline. The difference between potential and reality is the set of choices you make when no one is watching. You see, your future self is watching. They're not asking for perfection, they're asking for effort. They're asking you to care enough to start, to stop waiting, to stop negotiating with your excuses, to stop thinking and start building. Every time you say no to what doesn't serve you, your future self smiles. Every time you rise early when you don't feel like it, when you show up tired, focused, and committed, your future self nods in gratitude. Because that version of you only exists if you show up for them today. Discipline is a gift to your future. And the beautiful part, that future version of you is worth fighting for. Don't let fear, doubt, or procrastination rob you of who you were meant to become. The world doesn't owe you clarity. The path won't always feel certain. But when you lead with discipline, you create clarity. You build momentum. You earn respect from yourself. Most people ask, will this be hard? But the better question is, will this be worth it? And the answer is always yes, if the life you're building aligns with your highest self. So ask yourself right now, what would the best version of me want me to do today? Would they scroll or study? Would they complain or take action? Would they give up or grow through it? Discipline means choosing that version of you. Even when it's hard. Even when it's inconvenient. Even when no one claps. Because here's the truth. Your future self doesn't need you to be perfect. They just need you to not quit. Every step you take today is an investment. Every small habit, every hard decision, every silent win, it's all compounding into a future you can be proud of. Your future self is watching. Don't let them down. Make them proud. Start now.